Today we're going to be seeing the price mechanism. What is it? Suppose this is the market for oranges, and there is a new report that says that eating oranges is very good for your health. What this means is, as people read this, they're going to be thinking that eating oranges is healthier and therefore that they have more utility from consuming an orange. In other words, there's going to be more demand at any given price, and this is what is represented as a shift of the demand curve. As the demand curve shifts, we reach a new equilibrium P2, Q2, where the supply curve intersects the new demand curve. And this is an expansion of the supply. Supply increases, demand increases. We go from Q1 to Q2. There's a new equilibrium. What the price mechanism does is putting more words into this phenomenon on how do we go from Q1 P1 to Q2 P2. Let's start it again. Same thing, same market, oranges, same thing. New research saying that oranges are very healthy. Demand curve shifts out. Now, what we say is the following. If we keep the price P1 with the new demand curve D2, this will mean that there's a new quantity demanded here, QD2, that is much higher than the quantity supplied for the same price. And this difference between this quantity demanded at P1 and the quantity supplied at P1 is a shortage because there's more demand than supply. How do we solve this shortage? One way to solve this shortage is by forcing people to buy fewer oranges. And how do we do that? We can increase the prices. If we start increasing the prices, demand will fall. As we increase the price, demand falls, the shortage becomes smaller. At the same time, there's another function that says if we increase the prices, then suppliers have an incentive to produce more. Why? Because not only they're getting more profits for the old units as the price goes up, but also there were units that in the past were not profitable to produce because the cost of production were higher than the price that we're receiving. And now this price, as it's going up, makes those units worthwhile producing. So the incentive function incentivizes the suppliers to produce more. Until where? Well, until we reach the equilibrium. The signaling function is a bit more general. The signaling function talks about the market forces. What the whole thing is saying, as the price is going up, it's signaling to the market forces that we need to produce more oranges. This is important for something that we will see later. This is for the case where there is a shortage. In other words, where demand is higher than supply at one given price. In the case where there is a surplus, the only thing that changes is the rationing function. The rationing function only works for shortages, but not when there is a surplus, because in that case, we don't need to lower the amount that is consumed. We actually need to increase it. And how do we do that? With the signaling and the incentive function. If there is a surplus, we need to incentivize consumers to buy more goods. And one way to do that, well, we can decrease the prices. And the signaling, what it's saying is we are producing too many goods if we have a surplus. So therefore the market has to allocate resources from that good to another one where there is a shortage and not a surplus. Why are these three functions, the rationing, the signaling, and the incentive function, important? One, because it's indicating where to allocate the scarce resources that we have in our economies. If the prices for oranges are increasing, that means that we need to be using more labor, capital, enterprise into producing oranges. Therefore, without having a government, without having someone taking an active decision about what to produce, thanks to the price mechanism, the markets know exactly what to produce, how to use those scarce resources. Now, when we are producing more of something, necessarily there always has to be an opportunity cost because we have a limited amount of resources to use. But the price mechanism is actually telling us that because the prices are going up in this particular good, this opportunity cost is worthwhile. It makes sense to be producing more of a good that is in shortage at the expense of another one. And that's all. Please like or leave any comments.